Radio Raheem here with the chairman, Bob Arum. We're at Wildcard Boxing Gym. You know, with this kind of fanfare, usually we got Pacquiao on the horizon. Well, that could be a possibility. There's been so much talk about Manny's return, mostly from you. Where are we now in the effort to get Manny back between the ropes?
Well, Manny always indicated to me that he wanted to come back if his senatorial duties allowed. And so he's been in conversation with the president of the Philippine Senate. And what they've done is they've blocked out the time where the Senate will be in recess. So we originally reserved October 15th as a possible date, but we had to give that date up because the Senate will be in session up to that weekend, considering the budget bill. Very important legislation. And after that is done on the 14th of October, they'll go in recess for three weeks. So that enables Manny to train in Manila prior to October 15th, get on a plane October 16th, come to LA, spend a week or 2 weeks in LA and 1 week in Las Vegas for the fight week. And that's sufficient for him to be able to get a fight in either October 29th or November 5th.
You say get a fight in. That makes it sound like we're not returning for a one-off, but maybe continuing the career even beyond that?
He wants to continue to fight as long as he feels that he's able to fight and as long as it doesn't interfere with his senatorial duties. I keep saying that to everybody, and a lot of people don't understand. They look at it just like as a boxing thing, but it's a political thing as well. He wants to demonstrate to the people of the Philippines what a conscientious senator he is, and therefore he's not going to ask for a recess. He's not going to ask to be excused from his senatorial duty to fight. He will work around the natural ebb and flow of the Philippine Senate to get in a fight or fights in the months and years ahead.
Well, the first fight that people were expecting, because it was all over the social media and whatnot, obviously we thought Broner had been made, essentially. And when it fell apart, you said that he priced himself out.
I didn't say priced himself out. Or if I did, what I meant to say that, because I want to be fair about this, and that Broner's financial demands were not, we were not capable of meeting those financial demands. It made no sense for us to pay Broner what he was asking for, because everything we paid Broner would come out of Manny Pacquiao's pockets. So I had a good experience with Al Heyman, who tried to make the fight happen, but it was all on what Broner was asking and what Manny would give up. And I couldn't ask Manny to sacrifice that much money to please Broner. I just didn't think it was right, and they didn't want to do it. So the fight couldn't happen. That happens all the time in business. Some guy wants to buy a building. The guy who owns the building wants to sell it. But sometimes the sale doesn't happen because there's a dispute on price. Same thing here. The price that Broner was asking was too expensive for us. But to say he priced himself out is not accurate. That almost implies that he asked for a number that he knew we wouldn't meet, so he didn't have to do the fight. I didn't think that was the case. I think he wanted to do the fight, but the amount that he was asking for was something that we couldn't afford.
Did you talk to Broner personally at all? Did you have any interaction with him?
No, only with Al Heyman.
Well, he seems to have made it very personal. I don't know how much you're on social media or like people these days, like your favorite guy, Trump, tends to talk in tweets and Instagrams. So like, I have to show you this because I'm not sure if you're aware of it, and I wonder if it affects what's going on here at all. But this is Adrien Broner's Instagram. I'm going to clean it up a little bit, but you can see here, it says F Bob Arum. Pay me what I deserve, calls you the B word. You tried to sign me anyway, lame, like that. That's a really personal attack. Were you aware of this?
Yeah, I was aware of it. I'm not going to respond to somebody like Broner. I mean, that's sort of silly. I'm telling you what happened. As far as wanting to sign Broner, that was a number of years ago when he was not under contract to anybody, and James Prince arranged a meeting with Broner and myself, and we had a meeting, but that was like 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know what that has to do with the man in the moon. If he's saying, well, he wanted to sign me, therefore he felt that I was a good fighter, the answer is, yeah, that's true. So what?
If he were to come back to the table with a figure that you could meet, does this kind of, attack, these kind of language, does it at all hinder the fight, or are you still willing to work with him?
I'm a big boy. I've been in this business over 50 years. Some of the attacks directed in my way were a lot worse than Adrien Broner. I mean, he should take lessons from some of the guys who've attacked me.
Moving on, Bob, there are some fights that have been made here recently, and one of them is Triple G facing Kell Brook. A lot of people were very opinionated about Khan and Canelo, and now it appears that almost the same thing has happened with maybe even a wider gap in weight. How do you feel about that matchup, and is this like a new trend in boxing now?
No, I think it's a new trend for English fighters. They've always had a reputation about being masochists, and Kell Brook is demonstrating that trend continues.
How do you feel it affects the sport itself? I mean, it's clearly a money grab. You can't fault the guy for wanting to get in there and take a shot, but is it good for the sport?
I don't know if it's good or bad for the sport, but certainly you have to admire the balls on Kell Brook. Not just moving up 2 weight classes to middleweight, but fighting Golovkin, who is one of the great middleweights to come down the pike in recent years.
If Broner doesn't happen, which it seems like a huge, if it might not happen, it's also been rumored that the Postol-Crawford winner could be having a look at a Pacquiao fight down the road. Is that something you're considering?
Absolutely. I've said the 3 guys that are now being considered, it sounds like picking a vice presidential running mate with Ken. But the 3 guys that would be the 2 welterweight champions, Danny Garcia and Jesse Vargas, and Freddie thinks that Manny wants to go down to 140, which is his natural weight, and fight at that level, and therefore the winner of Crawford-Postol would be, particularly if the winner emerged, as I believe he will, with all the credentials for winning a very exciting fight, the winner of that fight could be in the number 1 position.
If the winner of this fight, it seems like there's a couple of conflicts to be worked out. Obviously, if Postol were to win, we've got a trainer conflict. Freddie trains them both. We know he'll be with Pacquiao. Is that a concern for Postol or the fight?
It's a concern for Freddie. But listen, I've had that situation with Ali when Ali fought Jimmy Ellis, and Angelo was not only the trainer of Ellis but the manager, and the trainer of Ali, and they worked it out.
And on the flip side, if you need to answer that, sometimes business takes over. What are you going to do?
Yeah, Bob, we're going to interview. Call me back in 15 minutes.
See, that's a true professional. He gets off the phone and continue to talk to Radio Raheem. I take that as an honor, sir. Thank you. But I will wrap it up soon so you can get that call back on the line. If Pacquiao and Crawford happened, you as a promoter, you're saying that Pacquiao may want to continue to pursue his career. And do you consider Crawford like the most dangerous fight for him? Do you at all consider like maybe fighting these two guys, you're only going to have one superstar to continue to promote? It's such a dangerous fight.
No, I don't look at it that way. I mean, Manny Pacquiao has been my top fighter for many years, and I have great respect and love for Manny Pacquiao. And as far as who his opponent is going to be, as long as that opponent, in my opinion, can do a good number at the box office, I leave it up to Freddie and Manny to decide. So, for example, if Crawford wins the Postal fight and Freddie feels that Manny would do very well with Crawford, I'm not going to stop that and lose an opportunity for another fighter that I promote, Terrence Crawford. It's as simple as that. I don't really force or even try to persuade the fighters that I promote to fight other fighters, particularly other fighters that I promote. That's up to their guys who know a lot better than I do, like Freddie, about how he thinks Manny would perform against a Terrence Crawford or a Jesse Vargas or a Danny Garcia.
Last time we talked, we were talking about Canelo and Khan, and I asked you what you would have done if you were handling Canelo, and De La Hoya took exception to that. He was a little bit offended by it, said it's none of your business, went on and on about that. You guys had a little bit of a honeymoon phase when you were working together. Where's the relationship at now?
I have great respect for Oscar. I think Oscar's a really good guy. The fact that I said what I said because I believed it. The fact that Oscar said, shut the hell up, it's none of your business. He's correct. It wasn't my business. So people say that in boxing. If you take offense at that, then you're a fool. I mean, why would I take offense at something like that? He's saying something. I said something that I believe was reasonable. The only question was, should I have said it at all? He said, mind your own business, nothing to do with you. He's certainly justified in saying that. It isn't my business. So, again, why would you be even offended by it?
Radio Raheem with the very thick-skinned and gracious Bob Arum today. I appreciate the time, man. Radio Raheem with the chairman of the board, Bob Arum.